What's up guys, there's a thunderstorm going on in Amsterdam, but I got a new case study for you guys. How we took a client from 0 followers, 0 offer, and a brand new account, no audience, no offer, nothing, to 79,000 US dollars, 54k the first month, and the offer went live, right? And here you can see the WAP screenshot, 54,000 US dollars in revenue, and here you can see the final screenshot, $79,276 with a completely new offer, all cash collected, all from organic, not a single dollar in ad spend. And I know how that sounds, you know, every guy on this platform says some version of that, so I'm not going to ask you to trust me. I'm just going to show you exactly what we did step by step in order to achieve this goal, right? So you can see there was no luck involved there, because the reason this worked has almost nothing to do with posting more videos, as most of you guys out there think is, oh, I just need to post more videos and everything will be fine, I will make more money. It's simply not the case. It has to do with one decision we made in month one that most people would never make, because it costs you money in the short term, right? Stay with me, because if you sell anything to an audience, or you want to, this is the whole game that you need to play in order to succeed, right? Because a lot of you guys are doing it completely wrong, and I'm gonna explain what you guys are doing wrong in this video and show you how to do it right. Quick thing before we get into it, because this is not for everyone watching. This is for somebody who have built something real, you've got a story, you've got an audience, or you want one, and you've been trying to turn that attention into actual money for your product or service. Who built something real. Most people in that spot think they have a content problem, but that's not the case. You just post more, you get better hooks, you get more views, and the sales will come. But this is complete bullshit. And the reason for this is something that you don't know at the moment, something that I'm gonna explain within this video. Because Johnny had the complete opposite situation. He had no audience at all when we started, not a single safety net that he could rely on. But if I'm gonna take you through the story highlights, you can see exactly how he went all the way from 0 to over 30,000 followers in just 6 weeks time. And this is what happens when content lands, right? 76,000 interactions, 31,000 accounts engaged, 10,000 new followers, and this is just growth. It's proof that Johnny's message matters. And I'm gonna dive deeper into that on this video. So how did we actually do it? Not with random posting, not by going viral once, but building the brand like a funnel. Reels for reach, story for depth, and strategy to keep people watching and coming back. And that is exactly what allows us to get 1 million views in the first 30 days. Now, Johnny's dream was always to build a community for like-minded people. Not just numbers on the screen, but a place where people would listen, engage, and resonate with his story. And that's what we kept sharing online, and that's what allows us to get the views that we were getting, right? 1.6 million views in 30 days alone on TikTok, and then growing the account to 10,000 followers in just 30 days, and 21,000 followers in 30 days on TikTok as well. 0 to 10k in 3 weeks, you get the point. You can see this highlight on my Instagram account if you want to check it out as well, to see what we did for him. But now I'm gonna explain to you guys, everything you're about to see was built from nothing. No Instagram account, no TikTok account, 0 followers, no name, nothing. So let me tell you who he is, because you need to understand who Johnny was in order to understand how we made this work for him, right? So this is Johnny's Instagram profile. You can go to his profile, and he was born in a small town in Sicily. Traditional conservative Italian family. From young he already felt different. Then he found out he was gay, and his family joked about it. He learned early to hide the real version of himself. Then he dropped into the UK hustle culture, right? Dropshipping, Amazon FBA, TikTok, crypto, then Amazon influencer. And he did 8k per month by a student, right? A second self, the acceptable one. Dated women, chased money because validation felt like proof he wasn't broken. And then he reached peak money, but rock bottom. Multiple 5 figures, right as he hit his lowest breakup. 18 months depressed, money fixed, none of it. He was making money, he was broken up with, he was gay, but he didn't came out of the closet yet, so he didn't know what to do. Then he decided to start all over in Bali. Amazon shut him down, now in Bali, out to his death, finally being himself. He came out of the closet and he told his story online. And that story is the asset. Everything he hid for years is the one thing nobody else can copy. Hold that thought. So step 1, before we filmed a single reel, before we touched a content calendar, we spent the time figuring out exactly who Johnny was and how to position that online, guys. Because here's the thing most people get wrong. They start with the content. What should I post? Or what's the hook? Or what's trending? Or that's just starting with the what. But you shouldn't be starting with the what, you should start with the who. Who you are as an individual. Who is this person? What is their actual story? How are you gonna help people, and who am I gonna help with the offer that I'm gonna sell? Who out there is going to feel like he is reading their mind? Because that is what will cause you and your brand to grow insanely fast on social media. With Johnny, it was obvious once we sat with it. There are a lot of gay men out there who don't see themselves in a gay culture, and that is what we acted on, and that's what we played upon. They are ambitious, driven to be more than average, self-development, always leveling themselves up, building businesses, founders chasing real freedom, but they also want real love, and not just the hookup culture that Johnny explained to us is very common inside the gay community. But they feel alone because nobody online is speaking to them, because all the guys are out there are straight men, working on their business, hustling, making money, you know, the real masculine guys out there, but they are not really into speaking with other guys who are into guys. So Johnny filled that gap inside the market, right? And every business creator they follow never mentions being gay. Every gay account is the partying, the hookups, the stuff they don't really relate to. So they're stuck in the middle with nobody talking to them. And that is exactly the problem that we solve. That's the audience, that's who we position Johnny to attract. When you position off of a real story instead of a niche, you don't get followers, you get people who feel like they finally found their person, who refuse to sell everything for months. Alright, so this is the second part of the video. We refused to sell everything for 2 months. We didn't sell anything, not an offer, not a call to action, nothing. In month 1 and month 2, we told Johnny we are not selling anything. Nothing, no offer, no link, no pitch, even though we could have, even though there was money on the table. Why? And the answer is pretty simple. You have a brand new audience, people who just met you, so you haven't earned it yet. You sell on day 5, asking for money before the right to really be asking for money, right? You can't just ask for money as soon as you start building a personal brand. Trust never forms. If you start asking for money, the moment you start building your personal brands, you torch your trust. Nobody wants to buy from someone who asks for money in the 5th day of building their personal brand. You're just another salesman, another guy trying to sell me something, right? You see these comments coming online super quick with the guys out there with only 1,000 followers trying to sell you their how to make $1 million course module on how to become rich with trading or how to become rich with e-commerce. You shouldn't be asking for money within the first 2 months. And then you kill your personal brand completely if you start doing this at the beginning. So how do we do this the right way? And the answer is pretty simple. We build the trust first, we earn the audience first, and we have a minimum of 2 months before a single offer goes out to the audience. And that's it. And it's non-negotiable because we know that this is what will actually get us the results that we want to get, which is growing an audience that likes, knows, and trusts us so we can actually sell to them. And I want to be really clear about what that costs you because it's not free. That's 2 months of growing an audience and making $0 from it on purpose. Well, most people physically cannot do that. They see the followers coming in and they panic and they start selling to everyone that's hitting the follow button on their account. But that restraint is exactly why month 1 of the launch did $54,000, as you can see here on the screenshot, right? Since we weren't selling to strangers, we were selling to people who already trusted him, and that is what allowed us to make this amount of money in the first month. We warmed them up and let them build the offer. And that is the next step in this video that I want to go over. Because a lot of you guys out there, they start making your offer without even knowing if the offer is solidified, right? So if we're not selling for 2 months, what are we actually doing? And it's 2 things at the same time. First, we warmed people up, right? Through carousels, story sequences, we started telling the audience that something was coming. Not what, just that something big was on the way, right? And you can see this, I'm doing the exact same thing for my story sequences as well. Go check out the highlights on my Instagram profile where you can see exactly how I treat my story sequences to keep nurturing people over and over and over again. So we were building the anticipation on purpose so that by the time we launched, people were already waiting for the offer that we're creating. And the second thing, and this is probably the smartest thing that you can do if you decide to build your personal page and personal brand organically without selling anything for the first 2 months. Because we let the audience design the offer. While we were warming them up, we were in the DMs asking people directly what they wanted to get out of Johnny's account and what they were looking for as a guy who's into other guys online, masculine, having a business, but don't really have any friends. So that is the answers that we were getting, and we played directly into the answers that we were getting from the audience. So what are you exactly looking to get out of following Johnny? What would you want him to build for you? What's the thing you'd actually pay for? We were asking these questions to any new follower that came in, so we knew exactly that we don't need to guess for the offer that we were making, but we knew exactly what kind of offer we should make. So no more locking ourselves in a room, coming up with an offer that nobody actually wants to buy. You just simply ask the real buyers. Go straight to the people who will pay you the money once the offer is done. The exact buyers, the ones who were going to buy and were ready to buy even when we didn't have an offer, right? They told us exactly what they wanted, we built exactly what they wanted and sold them exactly what they wanted. And that's the power of building a personal brand at first before selling an offer to your audience. Think about how much risk that removes, right? Think about how solidified your offer is when you start asking the people who are following you what they actually want to get out of the content that you're posting and what they want to get out of following you and paying you. You create that offer, sell it to the audience, and you already know that you're gonna make a fuck ton of money because you already asked the people what they wanted. Most people launch an offer and pray. They spend weeks building something that nobody fucking wants, bro. You're in the room for 4 months straight, building out an insane e-com coaching offer with the most insane tactics that nobody actually cares about because you simply didn't ask your audience what they actually want and what they're looking for, right? So we knew it would sell before we built it because the people who were going to buy it had already told us what to make. Then we turned on the full personal brand engine. And you can go to the link in bio if you want to turn on our growth software, but the growth software is simply a machine that grows you followers on a very consistent basis of high quality followers that you can convert into a sale for your product or service once the offer is ready. Then we turned on the profile funnel as well. And the profile funnel allows us to convert people into a sale for the product or service through the form of story sequences, carousels, profile funnel ads, and then we blasted try reels. By the way, if you're not posting try reels, I don't know what you're doing. You're sleeping like crazy on the try reels because you can gain an insane amount of followers from try reels. Now, step 4, we turn the whole machine on, and let me show you what that machine looks like, right? So at first we have the reels who generate the attention on the profile twice a day, posting content on your account. Then we want to dial in on the numbers, right? As much non-followers as possible is what we want to reach with the reels, because most of the audience that you're growing is going to come from reels, so we need to double down and know exactly what is working in the reels. Then we nurture the people on the story sequences, and this is where the conversion eventually happens, right? 1,500 daily story views made me over $152,000, and this is strategized and not just random, right? You have lifestyle videos to show the life that you're currently living. We did the same with Johnny. We show the personality and we take people through you on a day-to-day basis. We have a Q&A so people can ask you anything about what it is that you do and how you actually help people. Then we have the results. Of course, we want to show the results that we can get for other people because this builds an insane amount of trust and it positions you as an expert. You should be flexing your results like watches and cars, right? You should be flexing as much results as possible. Then you want to redirect people to the long form videos on your YouTube channel, show a bit more personality, show even more results, boost with engagement, and then have a CTA all the way at the end so people can DM you and you can convert them into a sales card where you can offer them your product or service, right? Then again, to explain it here, you want to create awareness with the reels. You want to identify the pain points of your audience. What problems are you solving? What is the desired situation of the people that you're speaking to inside your videos? Then you want to provide even more value on your YouTube channel, as I'm doing right now. Explain real pain points and solve real problems to your audience so they can actually get nurtured and see you as the expert within the market. Then you want to share insights, how you, for example, achieved 53 million views in 30 days for a client. Track all the engagement of every single piece of content that you're posting in the form of a tracking sheet or a dashboard. You want to know exactly that what it is that you're doing, if it's actually working. Whether that be views, followers gained, how many calls are booked, how much ad spend you have put into your videos and how much money has came out. Then you want to create scarcity in the story sequences and show as many results as possible. Highlight your efficiency and the processes that you have within the offer that you're trying to sell so people can really understand what they're buying before they're even buying it. Then create FOMO on your stories, build credibility through the form of testimonials on your Instagram account, build that social proof in the form of highlights, and then have a call to action. That's where the conversation will start. You can either have a setter do the conversation, you book in the call with the lead, and then you can close them for whatever it is that you're selling. Whether that be a coaching offer, whether that be a product or service, whether that be consulting calls, it doesn't matter, right? That is the whole flow that you want to implement as the 100K personal brand engine on your audience. Now, once this is all implemented, you can turn on the growth software, and as you can see here this week, I gained 1,135 followers from the growth software alone on my Instagram account. So instead of slowly growing your audience, you're compounding, and that's how we got both Instagram and TikTok to 30,000 followers each in the first month, all the way from zero. And here are some of the results that we got for Johnny: 400,000 views in 28 days, 10,000 new followers gained in 28 days, another video doing about 60,000 views, another video doing about 278,000 views, and another video doing about 29,000 views, right? And we gained 600 followers, 6,000 followers, 2,100 followers from just these simple videos. Absolutely insane. Now, here is the piece to the puzzle that will actually make the money: ManyChat. And inside our own new software, we have actually made a tracking where you can track every single piece of the puzzle, right? You can track how many followers you've gained, how much views you've gotten, how much likes you've gotten on every single platform: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. So we can know exactly that the things that we're doing are actually working, and if we are actually making the client profitable, right? So here you can see an example of one of the client boards that we implemented. 469 leads in the last 30 days, 13 leads were won, which cash collected $51,000 for just this client alone. And mind you, we're not even managing the setting and the sales team. So in my opinion, the conversion from 400 leads to 13 could be a bit higher, meaning this client could probably make $100,000 with the leads that we were generating and tracking for him automatically inside our own software, right? Here again, you can see exactly how much money was being made. Crazy that we can track this. We know exactly how much money is coming from every single video that we're posting through the use of ManyChat keywords that we post under every single video. And that way we can track any single lead that's coming in, know how much money is being made from the organic marketing that we are doing for our clients, right? Now, and that is the exact difference between the content that gets views and the content that makes you money. And I guess we all want to make money at some point, right? So picture it: content pulling the people in, the software amplifying the reach, stories warming them up, ManyChat catching every single lead that we can catch, a setter and a closer converting them into a sale for your product or server, and an offer they help design waiting at the end. Every piece of the puzzle is feeding the next piece of the puzzle, and that's why it works so well. Now then what happened? We went live. And so after 2 months of building, we went live. Month 1 of the launch, we did $54,000 cash collected from a fresh account that had 0 followers 8 weeks earlier. 0 followers, right? We pretty much changed this guy's life. 0 followers, no audience, making $54,000 in the first month. Some people work a fucking year to make this much money, right? Some people don't even make this much money. So it's absolutely insane. And then month 2, we ended at $79,267. So we didn't just hit a number and fade. We actually kept growing the company. Almost 100 grand in the first 2 months of selling on a brand new account with an offer that didn't exist before we built out the whole offer for him. And here's the proof again, if you don't believe me. These are screenshots from his swap account. Simple, straightforward. I don't know what else to say. Now, I want you to notice this wasn't a fluke launch that spiked and died. The reason month 2 beat month 1 is that the engine kept running and it kept compounding. And this is what that looks like, right? So more content, more leads, more trust, more conversations, right? More content, showing up consistently. Johnny filmed every single video that we told him to make. We posted every single video that we wanted to make. That means we get more people coming in and coming to his account that are the right people that we know we can sell his product or service to. The content that we make builds more trust. Every single post builds authority, builds more trust over time, and that's why people want to buy from Johnny over anyone else within the market. And that means we have more conversions, more buyers saying yes to the offer that we sell. And this is exactly what the graph will look like if you build your offer this way, right? Each layer multiplies the next, the engine keeps compounding over time. Now, why this actually works? So let me pull it all together, because none of this was an accident. We keep doing this over and over and over again for our clients, right? And this is how we launched to $100,000 in 60 days. Let me explain. First, we figured out who he was. Not what to post, but we figured out his story. Then we refused to sell to anyone for at least 2 months. We let the audience design the offer by simply asking them what they were looking for. Then we turned on the full growth engine, content, software, stories, ManyChat, etc., closer, every piece feeding the next of the puzzle and nothing operating alone. And then that launched into a warm crowd that we've been building up and warming up for at least 2 months, which allowed us 4 of the 5 steps happen before any money is being made. Remember this, guys. You cannot be asking your audience for money if you haven't warmed up your audience and you grew your account properly. So here's why I made this video, right? Because what we built for Johnny isn't just some custom magic that only works once. We didn't get lucky. We're doing this for about 46 clients every single month who are all making about $50,000 to $100,000 and some even more every single month. It's our system, we call it the 100K personal brand engine, and we run it for people who have a real story and want to turn organic attention into actual revenue. Here's a screenshot of one of our other clients, $35,000, another one $85,000 in just 30 days alone, another one $21,000 in just a single day, guys. $21,000, that's a yearly salary for some people, and we make it in a single day for one of our clients. Now, if you're sitting on an audience and you're not converting, I guess you know where to be. I will keep making these videos, I will keep providing value. You can do everything by yourself, or if you want to get it done for you, simply DM me on Instagram. I got you. I mean, what else can I say, bro? The results speak for itself. Hopefully I'll see you in the DM soon and we can talk. Peace out.